Ready yet, bro?
I can hear that.
We can hear what? Ha! Just playing. Yeah, we live, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah. Welcome to the Uncut show. I'm Coach Brown.
you forget who you were for a
Yeah,
minute.
I'm like, who am I? I'm Coach
Ooh,
Brown,
and I'm Donnie Rhodes.
Donnie Rose.
Yes,
And
sir.
today we're gonna be talking about Donnie. You tell them what we're gonna talk about because it was your idea, man.
Oh, it's not my idea. It's society's idea.
Oh,
Are
somebody
your
tried.
dreams too big?
Ooh,
And also, got gas?
what kind of gas?
Ooh, that's the question.
All right, we're gonna dive in tonight. In the meantime, this is what we want the people to do before we jump in. We want you guys to get this shared up, baby, so we can go ahead and
Ooh,
rock and roll. You ready?
yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm so glad you turned the audio down on that.
Booyah! Actually, I didn't. See, that
I don't
tells
know
you.
what that was weird. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, I was like this. I'm like, no, 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 no.
So
Oh man.
Here's what I want to do because I wasn't 100%. I'm not gonna say I wasn't 100%, but I want you to kind of tell me because you kind of threw this idea out there. Like I kind of want to talk about goals and do. You know what I mean? And
hmm
I'm ready to talk about that because it's been a big conversation. I've been talking to a lot of people about.
I feel like it
Um,
is a huge topic that a lot of people struggle with, including myself, and I don't know,
mhm,
maybe you too. Even though, like, you help a lot of people, I
yeah,
think you struggle with some of the things that you help people with. So
of course. Yeah, we teach what we need the most. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
even with, I would say that goals is something that I just recently found a working formula for someone with my sort of well, I would say ours because I think we're the same when it comes to the fact that we get a lot of ideas
Yeah,
all of the time. You know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm pretty sure that me and you both know each other's ideas 100% of the time because
Yeah.
usually
So
when
it's
we pop in our head, we call each other like, "Yo,"
yep. It's like one
even if
hits
it's not
and
for
another
what,
one hits.
yeah, even
Hmm.
if it's not for like what we're doing together,
Yeah.
even if it's like your side thing, we call each other like, "Hey, what do you think about this?"
Exactly. Exactly. And the one thing I would say is this, right? Because anybody who's been watching an Uncut show, you know that um I do my Coach Brown thing. Donnie does his vlogs and his gaming and stuff like that.
It's been a
And
minute, but yeah.
yeah, the Uncut show is typically an uncut version of what we do.
Mm,
But I think tonight we could take an uncut look and approach at setting goals and completing on goals and come at it in an uncut way.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like a no filter, this is the real shit kind of way. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So with that being said, Donnie, tell me what inspired you to want to have this conversation.
Uncut show. um, the Uncut show did. My mind's been racking around about this show, and every conversation that me and you have started with always ends with the end goal. It never has started with mini goals. So we've
Mm,
always looked at the end production, like this is what the studio wants. We want the studio to look like. This is what we want our fans to look like. We've already
mm,
put our fans in a dynamic that we want them to be like, and the fact is that we skip so many stones and so many roads to take to get to that place that we're on a back road right now and we have no directions on where to go. So I
Yep.
think the last three episodes that we posted
Yep.
were, I don't want to say useless, but there was no information being put out. It was like a what if and what we want to do and nothing towards what we are going to do. And I think that if we sat down and listened to our own advice tonight, then we would have been in a better position to come back.
Now I want to let you guys know something. Me and Donnie did not talk about this episode whatsoever.
Not
So he
once.
has no idea what I'm gonna say. I have no idea what he's gonna say. But um in the Coach Brown fashion, Donnie already knows I'm gonna come from a different perspective.
I
You know
even
what I
hit him
mean?
up. I was like, yo, I need Coach Brown tonight. And he was like, I got you.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But the one thing I would point out is this. You know, we do look at the end result a lot. And when I talk through this, it's so that we're talking to each other, but also other people, because a lot of people are in this situation, can learn something from this.
Exactly.
So a lot of times in life, what happens is this: we see the end vision, like we see what we want. Like it's like, oh, I want that, right?
Yep.
But the fact that we live in a microwave society where everything is instantaneous, everything is like, I want it now, I got it now. Like
Yep.
we order a package that's coming from China, and if it's not here in like 3 days, we have an attitude about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So everything is so instantaneous that the process of things, or the value of the process, has been lost. Right, because everything is so instant mashed potatoes, instant noodles, Instagram, like everything is just so instant.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the thing about it is this: when we see the end goal, or we see what we want, like the end vision of what it is, the missing step for a lot of people is this: it's not a bad thing to see it done first, because that's actually what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to see it finished. That's where you start.
Yep.
This is it. Like, this is the finished part. Because when you see it finished, now you can reverse engineer it. Now you can take it apart and work your way back to where you're currently at. And when you do that, when you go from the end result that you see, and you work your way back to where you're currently at, now you know all the steps you have to take to start moving forward. So it's like, you're here. This is what you want. Now, looking at what you want, you start to work it back to where you're at. And now when you get to where you're at, you can look and say, all right, I know exactly what I need to do to get here.
I think today's society too, like the comfort of speed, like you were saying, that you see that big picture, and then you go back to where you have to start. And I think you spend more time trying to find shortcuts to get to the end picture that you just skip roads.
Well,
like important foundations that you need to do to complete that objective, and that you set goals way too high. Like, especially, let's say weight loss, for example, let's say you have to lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
You're immediately looking to lose 100 pounds. Start with 5 pounds at a time, or 10, whatever. Keep going. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, is like set small goals, so that way you feel accomplished and you keep moving forward. But like me included, you just want the instant result right away.
Yeah, for real. And one thing to add to what you just said, because setting big goals, I would say, I just want to say that. So setting big goals is not the problem. It's just our lack of appreciation for the process, or the incremental steps that it takes to get to the big goal.
Yeah.
A lot of times what's really the problem is that people set goals that are too small. You know what I mean? So people set these small goals, and then they hit the small goal, and they feel like they accomplished something. You know what I mean? So it's like, people are seldom push themselves to what would either be their limit or beyond their limit. People will tend to set these little goals that don't force them to stretch, that don't force them to be more than who they are. Like I just posted a blog this week on my website. I'm gonna do a selfish plug, mycoachbrown.com.
It's not selfish, man. You work
know
hard
what I
for
mean?
that.
No, I know. I'm just messing around. But yeah, mycoachbrown.com. And the blog that I wrote this week, or what I was inspired to share, was, if you look at the title, it's kind of like, what? But the title of the blog was, "Who You Are Is Not Enough." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And where that came from was this, like,
that could be looked at so many different ways.
Yeah, well, that's why I wrote it that way, because I want people to, because most people will feel like, what do you mean? I'm enough? Because people always tell you that who you are is enough. You know what I mean? You're more than enough. But the truth of the matter is, if you want something different, then you're not enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want a different life, it's going to require you being a different person, because everything you produce in your life up until this point is a result of who you are now. You know what I mean? So when we take a look at are we setting goals too big? What we got to look at is this: maybe we're not setting goals big enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe your goals aren't large enough to force you to become something different when you look at it. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, but I also agree that small goals are important too, because you need to keep it rolling. I mean, if your goals are so big that it takes you years to accomplish, and you don't set yourself small goals in between them, like miniature goals.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they actually call them goals. They're more like achievements. If you don't set achievements in like little, like small victories that it's not the end, we're close, but it's just something like, hey, I'm at level 1. I'm at level 2. It's almost like a video game. You want to get to the castle, you got to hit level 1 through 100.
Yes.
You gotta set these small things. And there was a guy, it was actually a military man. He said the first goal you should set in every single day is making your bed, because at least you accomplish something one per day. If you don't do anything at all, at least you did one thing.
Yeah, and you're starting your day off with an accomplishment.
Exactly. And I think I agree with you. Some, like today, especially today's goals, I mean, everything's just handed to you. I mean, you can't even join a little league team anymore without everybody winning. So it's hard to like push yourself because everything's handed to you. And then when you have to go out there and like create your own, that's why a lot of people aren't creating their own businesses anymore, because they just paying somebody else to start a business for you, because it's just so easy. Like websites, look at the websites now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you used to know how to code to do that. Now you just sign up and input all your personal information.
Like click and drag.
Yeah. You made a website in what? A month?
Nah, it actually wasn't even a month. I probably built that website. Jesus. I would say less than a week.
So think about this, right? That website.
I will say this though. But anybody could do that. It might take them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I've had experience with like websites.
But I'm saying, remember back in the day, like back in 2000 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we had to use Dreamweaver. Yeah, when I built the website, I had to use Dreamweaver.
You needed to learn how to do that. That wasn't just something that was given to you, like you couldn't just put your information in, like, here's my Gmail account and this is the name of my business, and here you go.
The thing about it though, things like that, like the instantaneous thing, if you have the right mindset, if you have the right work ethic, these things will allow you to become successful extremely fast.
Oh no, I mean? I'm not taking away from that they're good. I'm just saying that I think that they're so easy that it takes away from the work. Like you forget how to do hard work because things are just so easy for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it takes it. I could start a whole business in 1 week with $0 if I really wanted to.
Yeah. Yep. We can get over this stream right now and start a business.
I can start a whole business tonight and tomorrow it will be running. I have nothing to sell. I have nothing to give. But if I did, that's how fast it would be.
Yeah. Yep. So
because somebody else put the work in.
Yeah. Now everything is real instant. You know what I mean? And again, if you have the right mindset, it's a very great time to be alive. You know what I mean? If you can maintain a worker's mindset or a builder's, I'm gonna say a builder's mindset. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people want, but they're not prepared to build. They're not prepared to do the exercises necessary, like, reading materials, meeting the right people, staying up late night studying, and looking at demographic, like all of the things that go into building anything. You know what I mean? Because anything that you want, you have to build it. You know what I mean? So just to revert back, because I know we were talking about the big goals, small goals, and I'm in agreement with you with the small goals, because you have to have small victories along the way. And one thing I would bring up is that the human mind doesn't know, or let me not say human mind, the subconscious mind, right? So you brought Coach Brown out tonight. Now I feel like this isn't fun anymore. Good. I'm like coaching, you know what I mean?
It's good. We needed a little bit of coaching in the show.
The subconscious mind, and this is a very powerful thing that people need to realize, because you can utilize it in a very powerful way, is the subconscious mind does not know the difference between a large goal and a small goal. All it knows is whether or not you execute it on your goal or not. So, for instance, you could have your 5-year goals, your 10-year goals, your this month goals, your tomorrow goals, your goals of the next hour. You know what I mean? And writing down a list of goals, especially minor goals, and then completing on those goals is programming your subconscious mind to view yourself, to change your self-image to someone who is an achiever, right? And it doesn't matter what it is. Like how you said, make your bed in the morning. Put that on a list of things to do. Write it down. Make my bed in the morning. Stuff you already do. Brush my teeth. Stop my car. Say goodbye to my kids in the morning. Whatever it is, make a list of it. And once you start checking those boxes, you start to reprogram your brain. And now you start to look at yourself as someone who checks boxes, someone who executes on goals that you set. You know what I mean?
If someone tells you, if you have someone that's really negative on you and say you don't do anything all day, what are you doing all day? Well, if you make a list of those small things that are just already programmed into your brain, it'll reboot it. Like you said, it'll reboot you, saying like, okay, wait a minute, I do things. Yes, they might not be starting a Fortune 500 company, but it's starting my life. That's how
Yeah,
I start my day every day. Because if you're gonna be successful in any day, you have to start your day. You can't just lay
exactly.
in bed all day. So as long as you get out of bed and do one thing per day, then you've done something.
Yeah, you start to view yourself as a doer. And when you view yourself as a doer, you start to do more things because it fits what your self image of yourself is now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you said that. Oh, another thing too is like we got to be careful of. I don't want to go too far off, but I'm gonna. This just came to me when you said that because you said, "Oh, some people will be like, oh, what'd you do with your day? Like you didn't do
Mm.
anything." Da 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 da. We got to be careful of what we let other people speak into our life when it comes to our activity levels, and
Hmm.
then we also have to be careful. What was the next thing I was gonna say? We gotta be careful. I lost it because I got that one threw me a loop. You know what I mean? But we got to be careful of what we let other people. What we let other people speak into our life
Yeah.
because we have these little sayings that people say, and we don't even understand how powerful they are. But we say these things, right? So I see you. I'm like, oh, what's going on, Donnie? What you up to?
Yep.
Normal thing that people will be like, nothing much.
Yep.
You
Nothing
know what I
much.
mean? So you're telling yourself and your subconscious mind that you're really not up to much of
Yeah. Yeah.
anything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
people will be like, you'll be leaving work or something, and someone will be like, "Oh, have a good day. Take it easy."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like think about what you're saying. Like have
Yeah.
a good day. Take it easy. Like don't work too. Like
Now in
just
your
take it
now
easy.
in your brain, you're like, I am gonna take it easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna sit on the couch. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna take it easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yep.
it's like we have to watch these things, these subtlety or normal, things that we say because they're
Hmm.
creating in our subconscious mind, and it's in us creating a behavioral pattern.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So every day, hey, take it easy. Take it for 10 years. Somebody's telling you, hey, have a good weekend. Take it easy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's programming you
Yeah. Yeah.
and we got to break those psychological sayings that people say to us that have an effect that we don't even realize and
Yeah.
the things that we say to ourselves like, oh, I'm not doing much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just chilling.
I'm just chilling. Yeah, exactly, I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you really want to build a phenomenal life and you really want to make change, and when I say make change, I'm not saying you got to be a millionaire. I'm not
Mm.
saying that you gotta you drive a Lamborghini. Maybe make change for you is like you want to make double of what you made last year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Maybe make change for you is you want to have a better relationship with your wife or your husband than you did last year. Maybe
Yep.
you want to spend more time with your kids than you did last year. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to have an extra hour to yourself inside of every day.
Yeah.
Whatever success looks like for you, you have to determine that, but it's gonna take something from you.
Hmm.
Like taking it easy and chilling and not having a plan is not gonna produce. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna take something that you're not doing right now. You're gonna have to start to do something new if you want to create something new. Because what you've been doing is gonna continue to give you what you've been getting. And it's not until you start to do something different that you will experience something different.
Yep. Yeah.
But I'm gonna see. I don't want to stop preaching now, Donnie. So you say something, man.
Yeah.
I'll just keep going and going.
Oh man. Hey, no, but it's true though, because like I'll fall into those slumps all the time. Like, like I'll have to think back, like when it comes to a Friday, I'll be like, what did I do this week? Like what
Mhm,
productive thing did I do this week? Like I didn't get anything done. And then, you think about it and you're like, well, wait a minute. Yes, I did. I got
mhm.
up every day. I went to work. I did something. I made money. Just because
Yeah.
it's not where I want, it's not my end goal,
Yep.
doesn't mean I didn't start working towards it. And that's what's hard is because in this world that me and you live in right now, with what we want to do and our goals,
Yep.
our end goal is multiple directions. It's so
Mhm.
big. I mean, if it was a graph, it would be off the graph, just
Yeah.
because of all the platforms we want to touch, everything we
Yeah.
want to get into. I mean, just for example, just a podcast and making movies alone.
Yeah.
That's a huge that's usually not like I want to be a professional podcaster and I want to be a professional movie maker. Like those
Mhm.
aren't two things that you have a goal of. It's either one. Like I'm
Yeah.
just gonna focus on
Exactly.
podcasting. I'm just gonna focus. If another thing branches off of that, but we're walking into it, and we've got two other ideas that we have
Mhm.
that we haven't even talked about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm saying like we have like four things that are like one of them alone is overwhelming. So now that our end goal went from 100 to like 5,000. So now
Mhm.
we have to figure out how to get there.
Yep.
And now it's going to take even longer time. It's going to take even longer resources. It's going to take
Oh,
I think the problem we have
yeah.
is
I'm gonna
that
solve it.
is
But go
that
ahead.
we look at everything as a whole, right? and we get wrapped up, and 1 week we'll be like, dude, we have to make this movie. This is insane. And then Wednesday comes around and, oh shit, we got the podcast.
Yeah.
And then we go to make a movie and it's like, well, hold on a second, we got Uncut. So we have to learn how to prioritize, but still move forward at the same time.
Exactly. And I'm gonna let you inside my head because now you're gonna watch me coach myself. But
this might get scary
because I coach myself. Like
if this animal noise is just sign off now.
Nah, but the thing about it is, you know what I mean? Because as I'm listening to you talk, and as I've been thinking about, because obviously we had a really long conversation earlier today about different things we want to get accomplished. But as I'm listening to you talk, and I think about my coaching with myself, you know what I mean, throughout the day, is in this, because I saw someone else who's also an entrepreneur that I know who was doing a video today, and they was talking about all these things that they got going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And when I'm watching this video, I'm thinking to myself this. I'm watching the video and I'm hearing them talking about all these things they got going on and how they're excited, but it's like at the same time, they have a lot going on. The coach in me was like, anytime that you have a lot of things that you're passionate about and that you're working towards, the goal is to actually figure out how to make those multiple things one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think we kind of discussed that this morning too.
We did. And it's funny because when I thought that watching her video, she literally said, as soon as I thought that, the next thing she said, I'm so excited that I'm able to turn all of those things into one thing, which was confirmation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and for us, we know everything that if we look at everything that we're going to do, everything that you guys will see from us, right? Today, without us even knowing, we figured out how to turn all of those things into one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the answer for anybody who's watching, because we are exposed to a lot, so we get inspired by a lot. And a lot of us are multi-talented, so we have to have the discipline to be able to narrow down our passions and laser focus them into one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to have the discipline to do that.
Yeah. We got a comment that says take it one by one. Don't try doing multiple at once. Now, yeah, exactly.
Because that's impossible.
No, it is. It's very impossible. And we try to do it all the time. And I think that's why I don't want to use the word failure, but unsatisfied always comes to mind. You know, we're unsatisfied with the accomplishments that we have made because it always ends back in chapter 1. We get ourselves to like chapter 3. I think we pushed ourselves to the max when we did the first Uncut show at the old place. I think we were the highest we've ever been with Uncut, streaming multiple times a week, every week. The fan base was immaculate. Yeah, and I think we tried to add so much more to it that we kind of just went right back to chapter 1.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's good that we're remote again. We're taking it step by step. We're not worried about the setup. We're not worried about everything. We're just taking it one step at a time and trying to involve everything into one thing.
Yeah, for real. Because we can't people will be like, oh, can you multitask? But it's scientifically proven that we cannot multitask. Our mind cannot focus on two things at once. So it's like if you're focusing on one thing, you're taking away from another thing. It's better to execute and then include. You know what I mean? So it's if you want to do this, execute. Once that's executed, now include the next. Boom, execute, include, execute.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But if you're multitasking, something is lining up together.
So something.
If you think that you're multitasking and you're doing multiple things at the same time, something's lining up together. So that way, it's easier for you to multitask.
But yeah, True 401. Thank you for the comment, man. Oh, you know what? Let's try this out.
What are we doing?
I got something.
Hacking into his webcam so we can show up.
Oh yeah, True 401. Let's go. We got little sound effects now. Let's go. Game time. Oh, you know what? We could have did this too. Bang. True 401. Take it one by one.
There it is.
I'm rhyming. You hear me? True 401. Take it one by one.
Oh, here we go. Now we have to add music to the group. You know, I don't want to use this as an excuse, but I'm going to.
Oh, nope. Now it's an excuse because you said
I'm going to use it as an excuse.
Oh, God. Get ready for us.
I have ADHD, so my mind is going crazy all the time.
Wait, you got what?
ADHD. Oh, you're nice.
Oh, I
You're
love these new
nice.
buttons, man.
Yeah, so, like, I use that I'm not like, I don't use that as an excuse all the time, but people will be like, "Dude, what is going on, man? Like, first
Mm,
you were doing photos, now you're doing this, now." Well, it's my mind. I'm going 100% all the time in
mhm.
my mind.
Yeah.
Physically, not 100%.
Mm,
Like, the production that comes out of me is not 100%. And I'm not talking about, like, my ethic, like, the way I do things. I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, like,
You're
my
saying
accomplishments.
yeah.
I jump so fast that I can't even complete one object.
Mm,
'Cause I'm like, "Oh,
mm,
check this out. Yeah, we're gonna do a podcast. Oh, boom, making videos. Cool. We're gonna do that. And then, oh, wait, we should make this. We should do that. We should do this."
mhm. Yeah.
So,
But you know what happens with someone with a mind that works like that? Because you know my mind is the same way. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like ever since I was a kid, it's been the same thing. I was DJing, rapping,
Yep.
doing art, cutting hair, selling stuff out my like everything you
Yeah, yeah.
could think of, I was doing it. You know what I mean? It hasn't changed much now. But the thing about it is that when you have a mind that works in such of a way, once you start executing, you're a very dangerous person.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Once that's what we talked about that earlier today.
Mhm.
It was like, yo, once we accomplish this certain feat that we discussed, it's gonna change everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now that puts us in a different realm
Mhm.
and things start to move differently. You know
It's
what I mean?
just trickling snow right now. Once we
That's
start to
it.
get snow on the ground and that snowman starts to start rolling,
Yeah,
it's over.
exactly. Exactly.
It's funny how you say that because I used to be the same way. Like, I'll buy a leaf blower, and I'm like, "Man, how can I make money with this? I could start a landscaping company. This is all right. I can make this. I can do that. I can do this." And it's like, Jesus, that was one item that you bought. Like, my first camera I bought, I said, "Cool, I can take photos, but also I can make videos." And now
Mhm.
I'm building off of that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're a creative mind, you know what I mean? And the world needs creative minds. But the creative minds just have to learn to exercise execution. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, put it this way: if you're a creative person that can execute, you're a very dangerous person. Let me not say dangerous. I'm sorry. If you're a creative person who can execute, you are um, you are a gift to the world. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yourself,
I mean,
and anyone who knows you.
dangerous could also be in a good way too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
That's
could
what I
be a
meant. I just don't
dangerous
want people to
just
get the wrong idea.
yeah, you could be trouble for the person you're like that's working against you.
Hmm.
Not
Exactly.
in like a physical danger way. Like, you're not gonna physically hurt them, but
In a competitive way.
you're gonna be a competition that they're not gonna want to face.
Exactly. Exactly. Um. So yeah, I mean that's where just to do a little Coach Brown spiel, which I think lasted like 40 minutes, but we had a good conversation. You know what I mean? But goals are important. But the thing is, people got to aim high, man. You got to aim higher. You got to have your small goals, yes, but you need big goals that's going to force you to become something different. You need big goals that's going to force you to stretch. You need big goals that's going to require you to step it up. It's going to require you to learn something that you've never known before. It's going to require you to get around people that you've never been around before. It's going to require you to do things that you've never done. Those are the type of goals that you need. There was a saying, I forget who said it, but they said one of the greatest tragedies in life is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and we hit. Because
Yeah.
when we aim low and we hit, now we feel accomplished. We feel like we did something. We get relaxed. We get complacent. When
Mhm.
in actuality, we could have hit a lot higher,
Yeah.
but we never shot higher because we hit lower and it made us feel good about ourselves. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's like if I was like, yo, Donnie, let me just see. I'm trying to think of something. Yo, Donnie, man, I want you to go out and get 10 people to like the Uncut Show page.
Mhm.
And you went out and you got 10 people to like it, you're gonna feel good about it, and then you're gonna stop. You'll be like, yo, I got my 10, let's go. I did my thing.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
actuality, if you would have stayed out there, you could have got 100.
Yep.
But the
Yep.
fact that I only asked you to get 10, I set you up for minimal production. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or minimal accomplishment. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like that's what we got to look at. It's just that we got to put ourselves, or we got to set our sights higher. We got to
Yeah.
be willing to get uncomfortable because life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
That
If
was
you're
the biggest
comfortable,
yeah, that
let's
was the
go. You got to
biggest
shake it up.
problem when we first started working together. Remember we were doing pre-recorded films,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Yo, let's go film this grocery store." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know if we can." And he was like, "Dude, just we need to experience getting kicked out one time."
Yeah, I'm like, yo, let's go. We're going to Stop and Shop. Bring the cameras. He's like, yo, we can't go in there. Then we went to Brown University. I'm like, yo, get the cameras. You're like, yo, we can't go in there. But I'm just like, yo, we just gotta go
I think,
until
oh,
someone
like,
tells us we can't. You know
honestly,
what I mean?
that's the difference between like I hate to use them as an example, but YouTubers,
Mm,
I mean, if you want to be an aspiring YouTuber, you have to take chances. I mean, these
yeah,
guys get out because half of them have a record of being in court appearances for stuff that was accused of them that it was misinterpreted because they were so sketchy and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, you can't film here. Well, prove that I can't. You know, they have that attitude, they have that backup.
Hmm.
And when you're new and you're not used to being on camera, I mean, think about this. Go grab a camera right now, right?
Hmm.
And go to downtown Providence, go to downtown anywhere, and hold the camera in your face and walk around and start talking. You're gonna feel sketched out. You're gonna feel awkward. You're gonna feel like I feel like I shouldn't be doing this.
Maybe you know me though. I'll grab a camera, like yo, but
No,
I've been
yeah,
doing that for that long. You
we've
know what I
been
mean?
like I feel like I could do it too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I at this point now, like I feel comfortable just because of working with you so often
yeah.
with it. But I'm saying like a normal, like nobody that's ever been on camera.
Mm.
Take a regular person that's never been on camera. I don't want to say regular, you know what I mean though. Like
I know what you're saying. Someone who
someone that's
typically
not,
wouldn't do something
yes,
like
that
that.
typically is like 9 to 5, come home, watch TV, eat, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever
Take
seen the movie Hangover?
yeah.
You have, right?
Hmm.
My train of thought is this, right? When we talk about going into a store and filming, or we talk about going over here and filming, or anything of that nature, I always think of what my boy said. What do you think I'm thinking of?
We are the 3 best friends that anybody could have.
That's a good one too. But no, I always think of what my boy said. He said, "Yo,
To pump your hot stop, read a book. I don't
nah."
know.
He said, "Yo, but did you die though?"
Yes,
You know what I
yes,
mean? So it's like,
yeah,
yo, yeah, you're gonna go in the store with the camera. They're gonna come. They might say, "Hey, you can't film here. Get out."
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Are they gonna come and kill you?
But you know
Like,
what? I
did you
also
die?
thought
Like,
about
you know
that
what I mean?
too. Is like if you get kicked out, it's gonna cause a little scene, right? I'm not saying
Mm,
it's a bad one. We're not gonna fight the store owner, but people are gonna be like, oh, these guys are getting kicked out. What the hell's going on? They're gonna see the
yeah,
cameras. They're gonna be like, what's going on? Then it's gonna create a stir,
yeah,
and they're gonna be like,
yeah.
yo, who are you guys? What do you
Hmm.
guys do? And then
Yep,
you hand them the card. Boom, you
exactly.
just got a follower.
No such thing as bad publicity, man.
No, there's no such thing as no
All
publicity.
publicity is publicity. But
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
exactly.
And I did at first, but now moving forward, I mean, I pretty much haven't said no since then.
Nah, you
You know, we
changed. I can see it.
yeah, we film
I
everywhere
mean,
now.
you're
We
doing your own vlogs and everything.
yeah,
You're way more comfortable.
yeah. It's more coming too, a lot
Mm.
more. All right, so
Nah,
switch. I don't want to switch roles drastically, but I'm looking at the time.
yeah, we got like
Let's
a
get to
good
the
5
second
minutes.
part of this real quick. What's up with the gas prices, dude?
Wait, do we want to go there? It's kind of
Yeah,
like,
let's just hit it real quick. Let's just hit it real quick. I don't want to leave them on edge because we already
oh
talked about the
man.
beginning.
All right, we'll talk about the
So
gas
I
prices.
just need to know. I know you went to the bank
Wait,
today.
wait. Let me say this.
Okay.
Anybody who's extremely motivated from what we just talked about, this will probably be the end of your show. So we appreciate you guys
Yeah, if you were into the positive part of it.
because you might not be too
Nah, we won't
motivated
get.
after
I
this
don't
one.
want to dig too deep and get negative, and I'm not gonna start blaming who and blaming this and dude. Dude, that sounds like it's coming like outside.
Does it? Oh
Yeah.
snap! All right, go ahead.
Like I'm not gonna get into that kind of aspect of it, but I mean, you went to the bank. Did you ever get approved for that gas loan?
Nah, the line was too long. You know what I mean? The line was too long.
Dude.
Yo, you know my
Oh my
problem. Here's my thing,
god.
yo. Here's my thing. Damn,
We got a little bit of time. We got a
how do
little
I want
time.
to touch this?
You came
Because
in
it's
late. Somebody was late today.
here's the thing. I was late. I really was. Here's the thing. I want to say this without
It's uncut. Just say it.
it's uncut. So there's a big
Just say
okey
it.
doke. There's a big okey doke going on out here, man. And people should be alarmed by these gas prices, and it's only gonna go higher. But there's a big okey doke that people are, unfortunately not hip to, and there's a lot of things that we can go into when it comes to, what's taking place. But in the same token is this, like, people have to start to really look at things with their good eye. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
there's a lot of suggestive things being thrown at you especially when it comes to these gas prices. I saw something today that, it made me laugh out loud, because it's like, you can't think that people are not that intelligent, but when you look at the way that these outlets talk to the American people about gas prices and how they should feel about it. You know what I mean? It's like the dude, I think his name's Stephen Colbert or whatever his name is.
It's just
Like
water in the cup. That's all.
he really said, "Oh, Ben, what's going on, Ben?" Um he said,
Just water tonight.
Stephen, I think his name's Stephen Colbert. Might be, I don't even know. But he was doing like his late night show, and what he said, and again, this made me laugh because it's like there's so many levels to what he's saying, and he's trying to tell you how to feel about something that doesn't even apply to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So basically, he came on a late night show. It's his show, and he came out and he said, you know, yeah, we might be paying $4 a gallon or higher for gas, but at least we have a clean conscience. I don't mind paying $4 a gallon for gas. You know what I mean? If at least I can have a clean conscience about it. And then he's like, he said, I'll pay $15 a gallon for gas. But how he ended it was real funny to me because it was like, I'm gonna let you know that these things don't apply to me, but I'm gonna say it in such of a way where you're gonna laugh and not even know that I'm throwing this in your face. But he said, I drive a Tesla. You know what I mean? So it's basically
So it
like,
didn't even matter how much.
yeah, like gas can go as high as it wants. I drive a Tesla.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? That's a broke person's problem that I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, come on, man. Like, don't
But
try to tell us that.
So that's funny that they say that, right? Is that, oh, I drive a Tesla. Okay, but as of right now, as of still now, power comes from a fuel source. So even though your Tesla is plug in, where's the other end of that plug into?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But the thing about it is, he's
But
saying like, yo, I don't
if everybody
pay
just
for
switched
gas
to
anyway.
electricity, they would just raise the electrical prices. It's not. I don't think it's the fact of where we can get the supply from. I think it's the fact of what's coming up.
Well, no, the thing is that basically what he was saying without saying it was this. Well, not that he was saying it without saying it, but he was trying to say like, oh, I don't mind paying for this amount for gas. Basically trying to tell people like, oh, you shouldn't mind paying that much because it's for a good reason. That's what he's trying to sell to you. But then within the same breath, he's telling you that I drive a Tesla. Basically saying like,
Ben's got it right there.
It doesn't
put that comment up there. Yeah.
It's like, yo, it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a hypocrite. Exactly. Yep. So it's like when we look at these gas prices, man, all I can say is this. I feel for people because I know that there's some people out there that are making real life decisions at the gas pump. Like you're pumping gas like, yo, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? Can I afford to make some burgers and something? Or do I got to eat noodles because I got to fill my gas tank? You know what I mean? Can I pay my credit card this week or do I fill the gas?
You know why
do I buy the kids shoes or do I fill the gas?
Yeah.
Like there's real decisions being made.
So you know why I really feel for people too? And I feel for the same reasons you just said. But I also feel that we just came off of COVID, right? Where they implemented vaccine mandates. And a lot of people left their job because of it. And now we're raising the gas prices.
Well, that's a whole.
I know it is, but I'm just saying I feel for people on that end because, like,
yeah,
he's over here like saying, "Oh, I don't have to worry about it, but you do." When there's people sitting there probably watching the same episode, thinking, "Shit, I just lost my job. Now gas prices are going up to $4.
Yeah,
I can't even afford to survive. Now I can't go get a job because now I can't afford gas."
Dude, it's a perfect storm, man. It's a perfect storm, and it's not. When I say perfect storm, without saying too much.
Let's talk about keeping the low.
Huh?
Keeping the low.
Keeping the low. Without saying too much. All I want to say is that these people are very calculated. That's all I would say. And look at everything with your good eye because there's no happenstance out here. There's a lot of calculated things taking place, and we got to get ahead of it. And I'll say this also because someone I was watching earlier today said it, and I'm in total agreement with it. Anytime that you find yourself on the side of the majority, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Anytime you find yourself in the crowd, something's wrong. You need to sit down and think about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because the crowd is not going anywhere good. The crowd is not moving anywhere good. You know what I mean? And the crowd is not following anything good. You know what I mean? The crowd is heading towards the cliff. So when you find yourself moving with the crowd, you might want to sit down and think about where you're going and what you're
Yeah.
listening to and what's going on. You know what I mean? Because we have to have our best interests at heart. You know what I mean? Because regardless of where you stand in your personal beliefs, you got to know that no one is going to have your best interest at heart more than you should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not picking sides. We're not saying who's better than who. You know, that's your belief. That's what you want to do. That's where you stand. But you just got to remember, listen, at the end of the day, you still have to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to provide. You still have to be able to wake up and move on with your life. You know, just like he's saying, just keep your eyes open. Just realize what's going on. Just doesn't matter what side you're on. Does
Yeah,
not matter.
just use this thing. Think about it.
It does not matter. We're not talking if you came to this side, it'd be better. If we went to that side, it'd be better. If yada, yada, yada. We're just saying, just in general, make sure you do what's right for you. Don't get caught up in that BS.
Yeah, you got to think about it, man. Anytime somebody tells me like, "Oh, like I'm thinking, I feel this way or I feel that way," my conversation is always filled with questions because I want to unravel how
Most
they got there.
importantly, is don't live your life off the media. Don't do it. Don't do it because listen, look how the media has already changed. You didn't think they was ever going to shut down from what it was talking about, and now look what it's talking about. We don't even know about the past anymore.
Yeah, I don't watch any news.
You just got to stay off the media, dude.
Yeah.
Just stay you.
Yeah,
don't
just
change your outlook in life because of the media. Because it's
my son. When I came home the other day, I walked in the house. He's like, "Oh, like I'm really concerned about what's going on over here and over there, like you know, different things in the world." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, what's concerning you? You know what I mean?" Because, like I said, I always feel a lot of questions.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, this is happening and that's happening. So and so told me about this and so told me about that." Yep. You know what I mean? So I'm like, "Oh, where did they get this information? Like, what do they know? What did they tell you?" And he's telling me do. And I'm like, "Listen." And I told him, you know me, I'm super forward with my children. I don't water it down. And I told him, I said, "Listen, have you ever in your entire life, came home, walked into the house and saw me or your mother watching the news? Ever, one time?" You know what I mean? And he just looked at me, he started smiling. And I'm like, "Why do you think that is?" He's like, "I don't know." And then I had to explain it to him. Like, we don't watch the news, and we don't watch the news because here's the thing about the news, right? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share with you guys what I share with a lot of people.
Oh, we could talk a lot about it, but we might get shut down.
Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it real simple, and then we're going to go because I got some delicious food upstairs waiting for me, and I haven't ate yet today.
I'm about to head over there.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, the thing about the news is this that we have to consider. Why do you think they call it the news?
It's in the word.
They call it the news because they're trying to create something new inside of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, come listen to this so we can create something new inside of you." But the bad part is this. What are they usually creating inside of you? New fears, new anxieties, new worries. You know what I mean? It's like you're not turning on the news and they're like, in great news
there is a positive of the news, and I think it's 2 seconds into the news they'll talk about the positives in life, and then the rest of the 30 minutes that they're on, it's, well, this man has died over here, and the explosions over here, and
that's psychological because that's what they do. It's psychological because what happens is this: if I tell you something good,
I hear traffic, death, war, and
some kittens.
And then there's like a 30-second clip at the end. Well, this school has graduated. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, or they lead with that because what they want to do is get you open. If I tell you some good news, now you're like, "Oh, tell me more." And then I'm like, "Yeah, and 38 people fell off a cliff." You're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've watched my grandparents scream at the TV. Scream.
I see it all the time.
I'm like, "Why are you freaking out?" And they're like, "Well, you should be." And I was like, "I have a simple solution." I just shut the TV off. I said, "There it goes." I said, because no matter what I watch on that TV, it's not going to change my everyday life. And they're like, "Yes, it is." I'm like, "No, it's not." Because if I don't watch it, it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
It just means I'm not adapting to it.
And
I'm still living my life. Listen, I don't want to get into that whole when it's your time, but I'm still going to go to work. I'm still going to wake up. And when I don't, I don't. but I'm not going to
Yeah.
let some reporter tell me what I am and what I'm not.
Yeah, what you're gonna do, what you can't do, all that
As soon
type
as
of
it
stuff.
shows up on my front doorstep, then that's my situation.
But the thing
But
about
I
it
don't
is
need to
like,
freak out at what's happening in California. I don't need to freak out what's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's so far away. Even in Providence from here.
well, the
I
thing
can't
about it
see
is
the
this too.
fires from
Like,
Providence from my house.
if there's something really that important, this for me, I don't watch the news, and I'm like, yo, if there's something that important, you know what I mean? Someone who cares about me will tell me.
They're gonna call.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone who cares about me will call me and be like, listen, there's a missile heading towards Rhode Island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
at that point, I'm like, okay, we gotta do
The
something.
only time
Well,
I really pay attention at night, right, is I could watch the news and talk about bombs going off and stuff go over here and over there, and I'm calm because I'm like, you know what, this isn't new. We've lived this my whole life. I've seen this on TV.
mhm,
This
yeah,
when I get a phone call after 10 o'clock, my heart drops just that much
because you know it's some
because I'm
real
like,
news
shit,
that's coming. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
When I hear the emergency broadcast at a weird time,
hmm
that's what like. Well, let me take a look at that.
Like something might be going on here.
I don't know what that might
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Usually it's an Amber Alert or something like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
those are the only two things that catch me off guard. Like, oh shit, look at the time. Wow, who's calling me now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it's usually me, like, yo, Don, no, I'm just playing.
What are you doing? I'm
Just playing.
sleeping, dude.
But
what?
hey, listen, we definitely went past 8, but we came on a little bit late, so I'm cool with that. But
Some of us did.
some of us did. Yeah. So tonight, hopefully y'all guys got something from tonight, because we,
Yeah.
with the whole goals and everything, I feel like that was a powerful conversation. And then, to end it with something that's relevant, which is the gas prices, because I think everybody, well, let me say this. The regular folk like us is feeling that. You know what I mean? If you're Stephen Colbert and you got, you making $60 million a year, you probably don't care about the gas prices. So don't try to get on TV and tell me that you do. But at the end of the day, I will say this, man. Everything always works out. You know what I mean? And no matter how bad the storm might seem to be, just remember that the sun is always shining above the clouds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So no matter how crazy this, oh my God, you know what I mean? If you start to elevate yourself, you know what I mean? If you start to raise up, what you'll notice is you'll raise above the clouds.
Yeah.
So while you're up there in the sunshine looking down at the beautiful clouds, people who have not elevated themselves, who are below the clouds, they're in the storm. You know what I mean? You don't have to be in a storm. And I told a group of guys this, and they looked at me like I was crazy.
Usually
They looked
do.
at me like I was crazy, because I usually say some stuff that you might not get right now, but you might get it, a while from now. But what I told them is this, just because it's raining outside doesn't mean that you have to get wet.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, just because it's raining outside doesn't mean you have to get wet. And what that means is this.
I
You
could
know what I
definitely
mean?
see why they were looking at you like, what the
Well,
hell?
let me explain it though. Let me explain it, because life is all about perspective. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if it's raining, if you come to my house and it's raining outside, and we both leave my house at the same exact time, right? You walk outside, you're getting hit with the rain. You're like, oh man, it sucks. It rains. I'm all wet. Da da da. This sucks. And you turn around and you see me, and I'm standing in the rain like this. You know what I mean? I'm standing in the rain like, oh God, letting the rain hit me. I'm like,
That's usually how it
love
actually
the rain.
happens.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I love the rain. I'm so happy it's raining right now.
All you hear in the background is,
It's a
Dave, grab
different
me a bar of
perspective.
soap.
Stupid. But it's a different perspective. Life is all about perspective, man.
Yeah.
The only difference between the opportunity and the obstacle is your perspective. That's the only difference.
Not if, but when you overcome that obstacle, the feeling that you're going to have of accomplishment is going to be so great, you're going to want to do it again.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you this. Because we're going to keep going, man. But yeah, let me tell you this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and you guys won't like it, but you'll get it, and you'll like it after. There are no obstacles in life. There's only opportunities.
Oh,
There are no problems in life. There's only unanswered questions. And once you can adapt that perspective on life, you're going to be in a way more powerful place, and you're going to start to enjoy the different opportunities that life presents to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Once you can see that this is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity, right? You're going to approach it differently, because once you can see that it's not a problem, it's just an unanswered question. Now, when an opportunity presents itself, all you're gonna do is make sure you ask yourself the right question so you get the answer. And every time you get an answer, every time that you get an answer, you add that to your bag of answers, and you become a more useful person. You become more resourceful. So now, when Donnie's faced with an opportunity, right, that I already faced, I could say, Donnie, I had this same situation. Here's the answer to the question that you have, right? My kids will say, oh, I have a problem. No, you don't. What's the question? You know what I mean? I got a problem. No, you don't. What's the question?
Yeah.
And then once they ask the question, I give them the answer.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You know what I mean? But we're going to just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. So we got to end tonight. But 241 said, you make your own obstacles. Yes, by having the wrong perspective on an opportunity.
Just got to ask the right question.
You just got to ask the right question. You're not asking the right questions.
I like it. I like it. One thing you took away from this episode today, Jack.
That I took away from the episode?
Yeah. I know you provided the information, but what are you going to use moving forward?
What I'm going to use from this episode moving forward is make everything, take all that we do and take all that I do and funnel it into one thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing multiple things. I'm doing one thing.
Yeah, I'm going to do the exact same. I'm going to take my life questions, not obstacles, questions.
Yep.
And I'm going to start answering them together. So that way I'm not bouncing around so much. I can kind of just even the plane. Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
Because I think that's going to help all of us here on the show move forward.
Most definitely.
And we're just going to be in the same direction instead of meeting up with each other, going opposite directions. All right, man.
So, and we're going to say shout out to True41 coming through YouTube style, joining us tonight, man. We definitely appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Ben. How do you say his last name? Suffoletto.
Yep,
Ben Suffoletto. If I said it wrong, I apologize. But shout out to Ben Suffoletto. And we appreciate you guys coming through, showing love. And we will see you guys next Wednesday for Uncut episode 3. If you guys have any ideas or stuff you want us to talk about, because obviously tonight was real motivational or informational. Let's say that. I don't want to assume that you were motivated, but I want to say that I'm like, yo, it was real motivational.
I was pretty motivated, and I kind of knew what we were talking about, so it's good.
I got you. So we'll say informational. But that being said, Donnie, we out of here?
We out of here.
We out of here.
Come on, man.